to look over those blueprints. Good. That's a good plan. Matthew is taking me out to some new pad thai place. Maybe I'll get lucky and come in on Monday with a rock on my finger. I gazed across the neat and tidy space of my penthouse and nodded, a little too chipper with my reply. Exactly. And then we can get started on what's in that wedding binder of yours. By the time I was off the phone with Jenna, I'd already finished my glass, unhooked my bra, and raided the freezer for the half-eaten pint of Ben & Jerry's. I looked between the wine bottle and the ice cream, narrowing it down. There were plenty more holiday parties and events left in the next 11 days of the month that I wasn't sure polishing off the half-baked was such a good idea. That red dress wouldn't fit if I was too careless with the sugar intake. I poured another glass with a shrug. Booze and Netflix it is. Even though it was mild out, I started up the fireplace. Grabbing the blanket from the back of the couch, I settled in and took a big sip of wine. Let's see what we have here. I immediately groaned. Who makes horror movies about Santa Claus, anyway? The big guy was practically harmless. It was his wife you had to watch out for. Skip. The next row of movies consisted of all the Christmas classics my mom had begged me to watch with her when I was little. If ever there was a Christmas mom, Gloria Clearwater was it. From her ugly Christmas sweater to the real sleigh bells she used to keep over her front door that rang whenever someone walked underneath them. While my mom lived and breathed Christmas, I was counting down the minutes until December 26 rolled around. It probably had something to do with the fact that Christmas stole my mom from me, and that's no exaggeration. I was hardly out of college when my mom had a choice to make between me, her own daughter, and Christmas. Now I was here in the real world, busting my butt to get somewhere and make something of myself, while she was busy baking cookies and sipping hot cocoa at the North Pole, or something like that. Nope, I don't think so, I mumbled, skipping over the Christmas cringe to the next row of movies. There had to be something good on, right? Honestly, it was hard to relax and unwind when we were in our busiest sales quarter yet. Ever since word got out that the board of directors was floating the idea of going public with Clearwater Creations, the sales volume had gone nuclear. Obviously, I wasn't complaining. But it did put a certain amount more responsibility on my shoulders. I started the company from scratch when I was only 24. And now, 12 years later, here I was getting ready to finish off our biggest sales year. Then there were the blueprints I'd secretly been working on for the next line of toys. They were totally different from our usual product, and I wasn't sure if they'd be as well received as the others had been. I was of half a mind to thumb through my spellbook and see if I could find something to help juice the success of the blueprints going over with the board. But I shook my head at the thought. No way. You've made it this far without magic. I hissed at myself. You don't need to start using it now. I lazily flipped through the movies on the screen, my brain completely elsewhere. Sometimes I regretted making that decision when I first started Clearwater Creations all those years ago. I thought the idea of a sustainable toy company was a unique solution to the plastic nightmare of modern toys. And sure, I was right. However, I had no idea how many bumps there would be along the way. Bumps that could have easily been smoothed out or avoided completely with my magic. That was supposed to be the upside of being a witch, after all. My whole life growing up in a magic town, I'd been told that being a witch was the best thing that could happen to you. Magic in all its forms was for the gifted, and I was blessed to be gifted. But then, college opened my eyes to how the rest of the world worked, without magic. And I knew that I wouldn't be able to stand it if I made it to the top with a crutch. So I promised myself the moment I came up with that first toy design that I would never use magic in my business. That bled into every other aspect of my life, until I couldn't remember the last time I opened my spellbook, much less uttered a spell out loud. I'd done it all on my own.